buzz roll. The buzz roll, which is sometimes also called the closed roll, is really fun and it's not that difficult. So I'm going to take you through how we get this buzz roll. So first I want to do is let's look at our grip. So we'll go to the camera over here. So here's our regular grip. We've got our thumb opposite the first finger, and we've got all our fingers wrapped around the bottom. What I want to do now, and this is what I ask my students to do when they're first learning this, is let's peel off the back 3 fingers. So now you're just holding it with the thumb and the first finger. So let's take that, and what I want to do is I just want to place the stick down onto the drum or the pad and let it do what it will do, which is bounce. All that natural bounce is in there. Now the first thing I want you to notice is that there is space between the butt of the stick and my palm. If the butt of the stick makes contact with the bottom of my hand here, it will stop the stick from bouncing. So all we do is we just droop our wrist a little bit to make space for the butt of the stick to clear the palm. So at this point, we're just placing the stick down onto the pad and kind of letting it do its thing. There's a lot of notes in there, a lot of contact. So now what I want to do is, we've been doing this, I want to add that second finger. So we've got those 2 back fingers peeled off. Turn our hand back over. Now when I put the stick down, when you put the stick down, what I want you to do is I want you to press into the drum a little bit. Hence, this is sometimes called the press roll. So you'll be pressing into the drum. The pressing will occur, the wrist is pushing down, but also that second finger there is going to be squeezing up, which will contribute to the downward pressure of the stick into the pad, which will compress the buzzes. Now one of the things I'm doing is I'm putting more pressure at the beginning and then easing off to extend the buzz. So right at the tail end I'm easing off. I'm just letting the stick do it. But at the beginning I'm giving it some pressure to compress everything. So it's not a heavy thing, I'm not hitting hard. Just dropping from, at this point, just maybe 4 or 5 inches from the drum. Getting all the bounces, letting that stick finish. Don't take it off the drum until it's finished. Switch your hands. So we just want to make sure we're getting a lot of buzzes and that we're able to extend it, make it last. So now we can just go ahead, go hand to hand. Now, what I want you to notice here is that each time I play a stroke, I leave the stick on the drum. Even when it's done, I leave it there and let the other hand play. So the stick is staying on the drum. I'm just lifting it up the moment that I want to play the next stroke. So by doing this, we are ensuring that we're not losing any of the buzzes. Some kids, my students, when they start, they'll lift the stick off the drum pretty soon, so you end up with this idea. You're not getting as much of the buzz that we're looking for, so leave that stick down. Let it finish. So now I'm not losing any of the buzzes. So that's the first thing I want you to be able to do. Add a little bit of pressure. And the second thing, let it finish. Leave that stick down. it's good to practice this slowly at first. I have students who try to speed up too soon and they haven't developed this ability to leave the stick on the drum. So when they speed up too soon, they end up with this kind of, each buzz stroke is short, has been cut off because they haven't worked on leaving the stick down. So just leave it down. So now what we want to do, we want to connect these buzzes from hand to hand. Right now you'll notice I play one, there's a little gap, and then I play the other one, there's a little gap. So we want to remove that gap between the right and the left hand strokes. So all we need to do for that is start the next one before the previous one has finished. You're going to catch the tail of the previous buzz from hand to hand, so you get an overlap effect. You can still stay slow, but start to overlap them. So there's no silence between the right and the left strokes. Notice that I'm leaving the stick on the drum. I don't lift it up until the moment that I need the next stroke. You can work this for quite a while. I recommend you do it slow. Try to aim for one spot. You get a more even sound. Connecting them from hand to hand. So that when you do speed up, well, they're connected. You can continue to speed up a little bit. Now I'm trying to take the edge off of the initial stroke as I speed up. You probably noticed when I went slow, there's like a da, da, da. That's just kind of what happens when we're going slow. But as I speed up, I want to see if I can remove that. Now the best way to remove that is get those sticks super low. Now that I'm at a moderate tempo, check out my stick height. Staying really low into the drum. This is another problem that students might have, is that they're having a lot of trouble keeping their sticks low, so that their buzz roll ends up kind of like, it's heavy and you can really hear the stroke of each hand. So you want to get down low, stay as relaxed as you can, and ease into the beginning of each stroke to take off that attack, the initial attack. Staying really low, connecting the buzzes, playing in one spot, and just at this point you're listening. You can make adjustments, experiment. What happens if you press more? Well, now it's squished. Which is another problem that students might run into, is they're trying to figure out, well, initially the tendency seems to be to put too much pressure. And it's squished. Some students don't put enough pressure. So they'll be like, you just need to push a little bit more, squeeze a little bit more with that second finger, and the downward pressure from the wrist. So don't push too much, or you get that. If you don't press enough, you get kind of this thing. So you got to experiment with how much you're pressing. Now, another common mistake students engage in when they're learning this is that they think it's about playing as fast as you can, because it sounds like it. It sounds like you're playing really, really fast. So for example, here I'm playing this fast. So I'm not working hard. It might sound like I am, but I'm not working hard. It's easy. It's relaxed. So some students come in and they're like, it's not necessary, and it's tension filled. So just slow down, moderate, nice and smooth. So then the next thing we want to be able to do is to mix our single strokes with our buzz strokes. So if you remember, here's our single stroke grip. We've got all our fingers on. The buzz grip, you're going to be popping those back 2 fingers off. You don't need to flick them way out. If you can, just pop them off to the side just a little bit, just like that. So you're playing your singles, you're playing your buzzes. You're playing your singles, you're playing your buzzes. So when you're doing your singles, we want to rebound, just like I talked in the previous technique video on rebound. Let that stick come up off the drum. Now when you switch to your buzz, you're pressing into the drum. And you're very low. Singles, you're up a bit more off of the drum. Allowing the stick to come away. Buzz, get down into the drum. Press, not too much. Just find the right amount to press. Singles. Buzz. Singles. Increase the frequency. More. So, mixing your singles and your buzzes, and just in general getting your buzz roll nice and smooth. So I hope that helps you, and have some fun with that.